Look at yourself in the mirror today. Really look. Beyond the eyes, beyond the face, beyond the reflection that the world sees. There is a spirit there, a quiet, fierce flame that has survived storms, that has whispered courage when fear tried to take over, that has risen from mistakes and heartbreaks again and again. Today, I want to remind all of us of something powerful. The words we speak to ourselves matter more than the words anyone else speaks. Each morning, each moment, we have the chance to choose what we tell our hearts, what we whisper to our souls. And in these whispers, we find strength, hope, and the courage to stand tall, even when the world has forgotten to notice. Look at yourself and know deep within that you are enough, not because of what you have done, not because of what you have achieved, not because anyone has praised you or believed in you. You are enough simply because you exist. Your laughter, your tears, your mistakes, and your triumphs. They are all threads woven into the tapestry of your being, and they make you whole. Every time you doubt yourself, remember that the measure of your worth has never depended on the approval of others. You were born enough. You were made enough. And every morning that you wake up, you carry with you a value that cannot be diminished by circumstance or opinion. When the world tells you that you are not enough, it is only a shadow speaking, a reflection of fears that do not belong to you. Do not let those voices anchor themselves in your soul. Instead, speak softly to yourself, affirming your own power, your own beauty, your own right to exist fully and freely. There is nothing small about you. There is nothing incomplete. You are whole, even in your imperfections, even in the moments when you feel fragile or lost. These moments do not define you. They reveal your resilience. They reveal that you have survived, and surviving is proof enough that you are more than enough. You are enough when you love yourself gently, even when you stumble. You are enough when you forgive yourself for yesterday's choices, even if they were mistakes. You are enough when you set boundaries, when you say no, when you choose what is right for you over what pleases others. Being enough does not mean being perfect. It does not mean being flawless. It means knowing that your spirit, your heart, your mind, your soul, all of them, deserve your attention, your care, and your respect. It means honoring the quiet voice inside you that whispers, I am here, I matter, I am enough. And so, let this truth guide your days. When doubt creeps in, when fear shakes your confidence, remind yourself gently but firmly, you are enough. You do not have to prove yourself to anyone. You do not have to earn your place in this world, for it is yours by right of being. Stand tall in your own skin. Walk through your challenges with grace and courage. Speak to yourself with kindness. Celebrate your small victories. Embrace your journey, every twist and turn, and know that you are enough at every step. Let this be the song you sing to yourself each morning, the mantra you carry when the night grows dark, the steady flame that lights your way. You are enough in your silences, enough in your triumphs, enough in your laughter and your tears. You are enough simply because you exist. And when you finally believe this with your whole heart, the world will begin to recognize what has been true all along, that you have always been enough. There are moments in life when you feel small, when the weight of the world presses against your chest and your dreams seem distant and unreachable. In those moments, remember this: you are capable of more than you know. There is a power inside you, quiet but steady, that has carried you through every storm, every heartbreak, every time you thought you could not go on but still did. That power is your resilience. That power is your courage. That power is your untapped potential, waiting for you to reach for it, waiting for you to trust that it has always been there. Do not underestimate what lies within. You have faced challenges before that seemed impossible, and yet here you are, breathing, moving, creating. Each step you have taken, each choice you have made, has prepared you for the moments you believe are beyond your reach. The human spirit is like a river beneath the ice, strong, persistent, and unstoppable, even when it seems hidden. You do not need to see the full path before you to begin walking it. You do not need to know all the answers to start asking the right questions. The very act of trying, of daring, of believing in your own ability unlocks doors you never imagined existed. There is a truth that too often goes unspoken. You are not defined by the limits others place upon you. Society, circumstances, and even your own doubts may try to convince you that you are not enough, that you cannot achieve, that you do not have what it takes. But remember, every extraordinary person you admire, every story of triumph, began with someone who dared to step beyond what they thought they could do. You too carry that same spark, that same courage, that same capacity to rise above, to create, to grow, to become more than you ever believed possible. Look at your past victories, no matter how small, and see in them proof of your power. Every time you learned, every time you helped someone, every time you persisted when giving up seemed easier, you were practicing the art of becoming more than you knew. Do not dismiss the quiet victories of the everyday. They are the foundation of the extraordinary, the strength to push through fear, to learn from failure, to try again with a heart full of hope. These are the markers of a spirit that is capable beyond measure. So speak this truth to yourself each day. I am capable of more than I know. Let it be your shield when doubt rises, your light when the path grows dark, your courage when fear whispers that you cannot. Walk forward with the knowledge that within you resides a force greater than any obstacle, stronger than any doubt, and braver than any fear. You may not see it all at once, but step by step, choice by choice, effort by effort, you will reveal the full measure of your power, and in that revelation, you will discover what you were always meant to know. You are capable of more than you ever imagined. There are days when the world feels heavy, when the voices of criticism, doubt, and judgment ring louder than the quiet truth of your own heart. In those days, remember this: you deserve love and kindness, not because you have earned it, not because you have been flawless, but because simply by existing, your spirit is worthy of tenderness and care. Too often we look outward for affection and approval, forgetting that the most profound love begins within. It begins in the way you speak to yourself, in the way you honor your needs, in the way you hold space for your own growth and healing. Love and kindness are not luxuries, they are necessities. They are the gentle rain that nourishes the seeds of your soul, allowing you to flourish even when life is harsh. When you treat yourself with compassion, you give permission for your spirit to breathe. You acknowledge that mistakes are lessons, not chains, that flaws are part of the human story, not reasons for shame. In embracing your own worth, you discover that the world's harshness cannot define you, for you have built a sanctuary within, a place where your heart can rest, your mind can heal, and your soul can expand. Consider the moments when you have been hardest on yourself. Recall the sharp words you whispered in the dark, the doubts you allowed to fester, the guilt you carried for things you cannot change. Now imagine replacing those words with gentle truths. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of kindness. I am worthy of care. There is no act more revolutionary, no courage more profound than speaking to yourself with the same tenderness you would offer to someone you cherish. In those moments, you are not being selfish. You are reclaiming the life you were meant to live, one filled with dignity, respect, and inner peace. Self-compassion is not weakness, it is strength. It is the awareness that you are human, and humanity is a blend of triumphs and stumbles, of joy and sorrow, of hope and struggle. By giving yourself love, you fuel resilience. By offering kindness to your own spirit, you teach the world how to treat you. You begin to notice that relationships, opportunities, and experiences shift when you no longer seek validation from outside, but cultivate it within. Love and kindness toward yourself are the first acts of courage, the first steps toward freedom, the first recognition that you are not just surviving, you are thriving. Carry this truth with you every day. Let it be a shield against judgment, a balm for moments of doubt, and a light guiding you through challenges. Speak it aloud when you wake, whisper it when you feel weak, and hold it in your heart when the world is harsh. You deserve love in your quietest moments, kindness in your darkest hours, and compassion in every step you take. There is no greater gift you can give yourself than the recognition that your soul is worthy, your heart is sacred, and your life is deserving of tenderness. And when you live by this truth, you discover something extraordinary. The love and kindness you offer yourself begins to flow outward, touching everyone and everything around you, creating a world that reflects the compassion you carry within. There is a weight that lives quietly on our shoulders, a burden made of things we cannot change, people we cannot guide, and outcomes we cannot predict. And yet, how often do we clutch it as if it were ours to carry? How often do we wring our hands over storms we cannot calm, words we cannot unsay, and paths we cannot walk for others? Today, let us remind ourselves, I release what I cannot control. In letting go, we do not surrender our strength, we claim it. We recognize that peace is not found in forcing the world to bend to our will, but in allowing life to unfold while keeping our hearts steady and open. Control is an illusion, fragile and fleeting, and the more we chase it, the more it slips through our fingers. There will always be uncertainties, setbacks, and moments of chaos, but we can choose how to respond, what energy to carry, and what burdens to lay down. When we release what we cannot control, we open space for clarity, for courage, for joy to enter where worry once lived. We begin to understand that our true power lies not in manipulating the world around us, but in tending the garden of our own mind and heart, in shaping our own attitudes, and in nurturing our own spirit. Letting go does not mean we do not care. Letting go does not mean we are weak or indifferent. It means we are wise enough to recognize the difference between responsibility and obsession, between influence and futility. It is a radical act of self-respect to stop allowing the uncontrollable to dictate the rhythm of our days. When we release the things that are not ours to bear, we find a new rhythm, a steady, quiet strength that carries us through trials without losing ourselves. The world may rage, but our hearts remain calm, anchored in the truth that our energy is precious and our peace is sacred. Consider the moments when you have held too tightly to outcomes, to other people's opinions, to expectations that were never yours to meet. Recall the sleepless nights spent replaying what could not be changed, the endless what-ifs that crowded your mind. Now imagine setting those chains down. Imagine breathing freely without carrying the weight of the world on your back. To release is to reclaim yourself. To release is to honor the present moment, to trust that life will unfold as it must, and to walk forward with courage, faith, and serenity. Carry this practice with you, like a quiet prayer whispered to yourself each morning. When fear or worry begins to pull at your thoughts, remind yourself, I release what I cannot control. When frustration rises at delays, disappointments, or injustice, speak it softly again. In this release, there is power, there is freedom, there is clarity. Life is too precious to spend in struggle with what is beyond our reach. And when we finally let go, we find something remarkable. Peace does not come from changing the world. It comes from changing our hearts, from turning our gaze inward, and from trusting that we are enough, that we are capable, and that the unfolding of life is not ours to command, but ours to embrace. There is a quiet power in knowing that your life is yours to write, that no one else holds the pen, and no one else can dictate the chapters of your story. Too often we let circumstances, other people's expectations, or fear decide the course of our days, forgetting that we are the authors of our own lives. Today, remind yourself, I am the author of my story. Every choice, every word, every step is a brushstroke on the canvas of your existence, and you hold the power to create beauty, meaning, and purpose in every line you write. Owning your story does not mean erasing the past or pretending hardships never happened. It means acknowledging them, learning from them, and deciding how they shape your future. The mistakes, the heartbreaks, the moments of doubt, they are not your chains, they are your ink. They are the lessons that give depth to your character and richness to your narrative. When you claim the authorship of your story, you reclaim your voice. You decide which chapters define you, which stories you continue, and which you leave behind, unburdened and free to create anew. No one else can live your life for you. No one else can experience your victories, endure your struggles, or feel your joy with the intimacy that you do. The world may try to write parts of your story for you, telling you who to be, how to act, what to pursue, and when to give up. But remember, the pen is in your hand. The narrative is yours. You can choose to write with courage, with integrity, with kindness, and with boldness. You can choose to let your story be one of resilience, of hope, of relentless pursuit of your dreams. Every day is a page, every moment a sentence, and every decision a word that moves your story forward. There is freedom in knowing that you do not need to wait for permission to live fully. You do not need approval to dream, to speak, to create, or to love. When you embrace your role as the author of your life, you step into a space of power and responsibility. You are no longer a passenger in your own journey. You are the navigator, the architect, the storyteller. Even when the world around you is chaotic, uncertain, or demanding, your story remains yours to shape, and your choices remain yours to make. So, speak this truth to yourself each morning. I am the author of my story. Let it guide your decisions, your words, and your actions. When doubt creeps in, remember that the pen cannot be taken from you unless you willingly release it. Write with intention, with courage, and with grace. Embrace your chapters, even the difficult ones, and know that each page brings you closer to the life you are meant to live. And in claiming this authorship, you discover a profound truth. The power to shape your life has always been within you, waiting patiently for you to pick up the pen and write your story with unwavering faith in your own voice. Every sunrise brings with it a quiet promise, a gentle whisper that no matter what happened yesterday, today is a fresh start. The mistakes, the disappointments, the worries, the regrets, they do not define this day. They are not anchors to hold you down. Today is a blank page, waiting for you to write upon it with courage, hope, and intention. Each breath you take, each choice you make, is a new beginning. Even when life feels heavy and the past lingers like a shadow, the dawn reminds you that there is always a chance to begin again, to rise, to grow, and to become. There is a remarkable power in embracing today as new, in seeing it as an opportunity rather than a repetition of what has come before. We carry so many stories in our hearts, so many fears that whisper, "You cannot change, you cannot improve, you cannot begin again." But the truth is, life does not demand perfection. It only asks that we continue to step forward. When we give ourselves permission to start fresh, we honor the possibility of transformation. We recognize that our past is not a cage, but a teacher, and that each day is a chance to write a chapter full of hope, courage, and purpose. Starting anew does not require grand gestures. Sometimes it is a thought, a word, a small act of kindness toward yourself. Perhaps it is choosing to speak gently when you had once shouted in frustration, or to move forward with a task you had avoided out of fear. It could be as simple as taking a deep breath, lifting your chin, and saying, "Today is mine." In these moments, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that life is not something that happens to you. It is something you participate in, consciously and deliberately. Each day is a chance to make choices that align with who you are becoming. The beauty of a fresh start is that it does not wait for permission from the world. You do not need approval to begin again. You do not need validation to shed the weight of yesterday and embrace the promise of today. Every sunrise carries with it the same quiet message. You can try again. You can be kinder. You can love more. You can dream bigger. You can walk a path that feels true to your heart. And even if you stumble, even if you fall, today still remains a new page, a new chance, a new gift. So carry this truth with you through your day. Let it shape your actions, your words, and your thoughts. Remind yourself that each morning is a fresh start and that your life is not measured by yesterday's failures, but by the courage you show in rising today. The past is a story that has been written. The future is a canvas yet to be painted. And in this very moment, you hold the brush, the pen, and the power to begin again. Let your heart open to the possibilities. Let your spirit rise with the sun, and let every day be a testament to your resilience, your hope, and your unwavering capacity to start anew. There are moments when your dreams feel like distant stars, twinkling far beyond your reach, and the weight of reality whispers that they are impossible, that they are too big, too bold, too far away. In those moments, remember this truth: your dreams are valid. Just because they are not yet realized does not mean they are not real. Just because others do not see them does not mean they do not exist. Every heartbeat that carries hope, every quiet thought that dares to imagine something greater, is proof that your dreams are alive, breathing, and waiting for you to honor them. Too often, the world tries to tell us that our visions are unrealistic, that our aspirations are too ambitious, or too fragile to survive scrutiny. But dreams are not meant to fit neatly into the expectations of others. Dreams are the whispers of your soul, the bold declarations of your spirit, and the compass that points toward your purpose. To believe in them is not arrogance, it is courage. To pursue them is not selfishness, it is faith in the life you are capable of creating. And when you embrace your dreams as valid, you ignite a fire within that no obstacle can extinguish, no criticism can diminish, and no failure can destroy. Validation does not come from the world. It comes from within. You do not need permission to dream, and you do not need approval to act. Every step you take towards your vision, no matter how small, affirms the truth that your dreams have meaning. The journey may be long, the path may be uncertain, but the value of your dreams does not diminish with distance or difficulty. They exist because you imagined them, because your heart spoke them, because your soul knew there was more for you to create, to explore, to give, and that alone makes them worthy of pursuit. Your dreams are valid even when fear rises, even when doubt creeps in, and even when the world seems silent or indifferent. They are valid when your plans falter, when opportunities seem scarce, when obstacles block your way. They are valid because they are yours, and owning them is an act of bravery. To honor your dreams is to honor yourself, to honor the unique spark that lives within you, a spark that no one else can replicate, a spark that deserves to shine fully and freely in this world. Let this truth guide you through every day. Your dreams are valid. Speak it to yourself when the night is dark, when your energy wanes, and when doubt threatens to take hold. Let it remind you that the seeds of vision you carry are sacred, that your hopes are worthy of attention, and that your life is meant to reflect the greatness you dare to imagine. Nurture your dreams, act on them with courage, protect them with persistence, and believe that each effort, each choice, each heartbeat brings you closer to their fulfillment. And in honoring the validity of your dreams, you discover the extraordinary truth. The life you imagine is not only possible, it is waiting for you to claim it. There is a quiet, often overlooked truth that too many of us forget. We are worthy of our own attention. In the rush of life, in the endless demands of work, family, and the world, we forget to turn toward ourselves with the same care we give to others. We prioritize the needs of everyone around us and neglect the very person who carries us through every day, you. Today, remind yourself that you are worthy of your own attention. You are deserving of your time, your love, your focus, and your care. The world may demand much from you, but it cannot replace the quiet, powerful work of tending to your own spirit. Self-attention is not selfish. It is not indulgence. It is a recognition of your value, your presence, and your humanity. To look inward, to check in with your heart, to honor your feelings and desires, is to acknowledge that you matter. When you prioritize yourself, you do not diminish others. You become more fully able to give, to love, to support, and to shine. Like the roots of a tree that must be nourished before the branches bear fruit, your inner life must be tended. Your energy, your focus, your joy, these are cultivated when you pay attention to yourself, when you honor your needs, and when you speak kindly to your own heart. Consider the moments when you have ignored your own signals, the fatigue, the hunger, the quiet whisper of your soul asking for care or rest. How often do we dismiss these signs as weakness, as distraction, as something trivial compared to the demands of others? But in truth, ignoring yourself diminishes your capacity to live fully. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your love, your energy, or your presence to the world if you deny them to yourself. Your attention to your own well-being is not a luxury. It is essential, sacred, and transformative. Being worthy of your own attention also means honoring your desires, your passions, and your dreams. It means allowing yourself to pursue what lights your heart even when it seems inconvenient, even when others question it, even when fear whispers that you do not deserve it. When you recognize your own worth, you create a life that aligns with your deepest truth. You begin to see that caring for yourself is not a momentary act, but a lifelong practice, a declaration that your presence matters, that your voice matters, that your life matters. Let this be a guiding truth for every day. Speak it softly to yourself in the quiet morning hours. Remind yourself in moments of doubt or distraction, I am worthy of my own attention. Let it shape how you spend your time, the choices you make, the energy you give, and the compassion you offer yourself. By turning toward yourself, you awaken a power that has always been within you, the power to nurture, to grow, to heal, and to shine. And when you honor your own attention, you discover a remarkable freedom. The world is no longer a place where you are lost, overlooked, or diminished. It becomes a place where your spirit thrives, your heart expands, and your life blooms in the fullness of your own care.